Hello everyone, hope you all are doing well. So this is day 2 of September December 23. Yesterday we solved September December 23 question number 1 Hammer Group. Today we are going to solve question number 2, which is Baker Company. If you have not watched the day 1 video of September December 23, please go and watch that video because we are solving past paper questions on your CBE platform. So it's better to go and follow the sequence, otherwise, you will lose behind. This is day 2, September December 23. Question number 2, Baker Company. Let's read the question. It is 1st July 2005. You are a manager in the forensic department of Astor and Company, a firm which provides audit and a range of other services to its clients. Means Astor and Company provides audit and non-assurance services. You have received a request from Baker Company to perform an engagement in relation to an insurance claim which the company is going to submit. The insurance claim is in respect of a payroll fraud which was recently discovered at the company. This engagement would be conducted as an agreed upon procedures engagement to quantify the loss to be claimed. Becker Company is not listed and is not currently an audit client of your firm. The company manufactures medical supplies for sale to hospitals. Becker Company is wholly owned by foreign trust, the beneficiaries of which include the current board of directors. There are two important things: that it's not a listed company not and is not currently an audit client of our firm, means Astor and Company. A trust is a legal entity that owns cash or other assets or investments on behalf of another entity or individuals. Means this is a client in which there is multiple cash involvement. Becker Company is well respected in the medical sector and routinely donates 5% of annual profits to global healthcare charities. The following exhibit, available on the left-hand side of the screen, provides information relevant to requirements A and B of the question. Outline of fraud, details of the request from Becker Company. In Exhibit 1, there is something about fraud. Let's read the requirement first. We all know question number 1 covers 50 marks, question number 2 and 3 covers 25 marks. Part A1. Evaluate the matters in respect of quality management which should be considered by Astor and Company before accepting the engagement. So this is about the matters considered in respect of quality management, means ISQM1 and practice management topic from block 2. Part A to explain the specific aspects of the terms of engagement which should be agreed. This is a general question, theory-based question. You should not consider aspects relating to any police investigation in Part A1. Okay. It is now 10th July 2005 and your firm has accepted the engagement. Means now the acceptance has done. We move further. Recommend the procedures to be performed to quantify the loss for the purpose of the insurance claim. Professional marks will be awarded for the demonstration of skill in analysis and evaluation, professional skepticism and judgment, and commercial acumen in your answer. From the very first day when we have started the past paper questions, I have mentioned the professional skills criteria. In my all past paper solutions, you can see the guidelines how to get the professional marks. Even professional marks for the question 1, question 2, and 3. So if you follow my lectures consistently, then you will have an idea about this thing. Even though I will try to cover in this question as well. Let's read the exhibit number 1. So this is exhibit 1, outline of fraud. Let's start the reading. The payroll fraud, we all know payroll is a component, material component of the financial statement. The payroll fraud was discovered following the commencement of an upgrade to the company's management information system. Mean there is a new MIS system on which there is a fraud. When the system was upgraded at the head office in June 2000 X5, this is July X5, we are at the July X5. Analysis performed highlighted an anomaly means one of error in the staff cost and margins for the head office. The regional offices will receive the upgrade over the next 3 months. The finance director has reviewed the payroll list for the head office and identified two names on the list which they know are people who left the company. Means two people are the leavers, they are not associated with the Baker Company. Both individuals left the company in 2003 but have not been removed from the payroll record. Now they are considered as a ghost employee. There is a possibility that they receive the salary, but in actual the salary comes or get by the another person. These people are still being paid, but the monthly payments are being made into the same bank account, the beneficiary of which is not yet known. Again, another hint. Over the 2 years since they left, the finance director has calculated that 30,000 in total has been paid into the unidentified bank account. It shows there is a weak internal control as no proper authorization and check and balance, no monitoring. The finance director is not sure if this is the full extent of the issue or if further fraudulent activity exists across payroll. The losses are expected to be covered by the company's insurance policy. However, this requires an independent firm to be used to quantify the loss for the purpose of the claim. Baker Company wishes to submit this claim within the next 3 weeks so that it can be resolved prior to the annual shareholder meeting on 1st August 2000 X5. Why just 3 weeks? Let's move to the answer. How to draft an answer so that we can fetch full marks. Okay. This is day 2, September, December 23, past paper, question number 2, Baker Company, important points. Question number 2 covers 25 marks, 5 marks are professional, whereas 20 marks for the answer. Part A for the matters to be considered for quality management, and part A2 specific aspects of the engagement, means terms of engagement. The lecture on the block 2 has been uploaded on the playlist YouTube playlist. The channel name is ACCA PassPoint. So if you are weak in this concept, you can take the lecture. Part B for the audit procedures for insurance, block 3 YouTube playlist. I have recorded a separate video on audit procedures. How to write a good procedure. Okay, in which I have also discussed the difference between the good procedures and the bad procedures and the technique how to link your procedure with the answer. You do not need to write any extra. You just need to pick the correct keyword from the question and then alter in your own words. Give headings to each paragraph for securing professional marks. Professional marks in this question about the evaluation, analysis, professional skepticism, judgment, and commercial acumen. Analysis and evaluation. Contextualize everything. Use scenario details to assess financial, ethical, legal, regulatory issues. Investigate, locate key facts, calculate materiality if any PBT, total assets, or total revenue figures are given. Perform analytical procedure, means compare with industry to industry or with prior period. Evaluate appraised impacts and trade-off implication of not adjusting a misstatement. Draw conclusions and link analysis to actions, recommendations, flag gaps, highlight missing data, and suggest further audit procedures or information needed. Professional skepticism and judgment. Question and challenge assumptions, estimates, data reliability from client and scenario. Apply spectrum of risk, identify priorities, and justify highest ROM. This point number 2 is more for the question number 1 and question number 3. Reflect on the sufficiency of evidence, basis of provisions, amortization policies, justify priority ranking in conclusions. Again, this is for the point question number 1 and question number 2, because whenever examiner asks about the evaluation, so we have to give a conclusion. Now, commercial acumen. Understand client context, business models, sector, external environment factors. Identify business risk, if any. Let's go to the question. This is question number 2, Becker Company. Question A1. This is just a misprinting. You assume this 2. Even though it's written 3, this is a misprinting. Question number 2, Becker Company, Part A1. Matters to be considered for quality management. If you cover this lecture on my ACCA PassPoint channel under the playlist of Block 2, you have the idea what are those matters. Client screening means client integrity. Know your client, KYC. Before accepting the engagement, audit firm, you have to write the name of audit firm. What is the name of audit firm in this case? Anyone can tell me? It's Astor and Company. Okay, don't use generalized term. Why I have written generalized term? This is to remind you that do not read to write generalized term. Otherwise, you will lose your professional marks. Audit firm, not Astor and Company, should evaluate the integrity of Becker Company to ensure whether any fraudulent activity has been conducted in the past or this is the first time that such activities are identified, means upgradation failure in the payroll system. Keep in mind that 2 employees left the company in 2003 but is still in payroll record and being paid. As Becker Company is well respected in the medical sector, in the pharmaceutical sector, and a wholly owned subsidiary of foreign trust, there might be money laundering activities as the money can be placed in multiple accounts for layering. Money laundering is the very first topic of our AAA course, which you can watch under the playlist of Block 1 lectures. This questions on the integrity of Baker Company. It's not Power, it's a Baker Company management if any information is concealed. Method number 2, communication. Astor and Company should communicate the previous auditor of Becker Company. How you can identify or write this point? If you read the question again, let me show you. It's mentioned Becker Company is not listed and is not currently an audit client of your firm. Okay, so it means previously or this is audited by another audit firm. Okay, about the fraud, whether they have identified such things and should ask about the payroll records, include true leavers who left the company in 2003. Astor and Company should also review the last year working papers to confirm the amount of work done on payroll. If Baker and Company didn't allow Astor and Company to communicate with predecessor auditor, then Astor and Company will not accept this engagement. Competence. Competence means Astor and Company should evaluate its own competence. Astor and Company should obtain an understanding of Baker Company to ensure whether the audit team is competent to perform the task assigned for Baker Company. Audit team has previously been involved on such assignment or they have been associated with any trust who is in the same industry or same business line, such as Baker Company. Also, Astor Company considered the fact that Baker Company is wholly owned subsidiary of foreign trust, so there might be complex rules and regulations such as ownership and other regulations as well. Ethical issues. Astor and Company should ensure that no ethical issues have been arises on accepting the engagement and there should be adequate or proper safeguard to mitigate such threats. Also ensure that Baker Company should have its own corporate code of ethics. If you watched my lecture on ISQM1, then you can write such points of ethics to avoid any threat. As in trust sector, many ethical issues arises such as illegal payments, Look how you have to link your answer with the exhibit wording. Deadline. Esther and Company should consider that the deadline should be realistic to complete the work of Baker Company with quality and effectively. Nature and size of the work should be determined and the complexity of work should be evaluated for suitable deadline as efficient resources are necessary to perform such services in short span of time 3 months and due to large operating units. Esther and company should decide the appropriate deadline before accepting of the engagement as the deadline and nature of the work link with fee means fee based on amount of work time and complexity. It should not be based on any contingent event, otherwise, it will result in a self interest threat. Preconditions. Esther and company should ensure that management has prepared the financial statement according to applicable financial reporting framework and should also inform the management that the audit team is not responsible to prevent and detect fraud as it is management responsibility. If you do not know about this thing, please go and watch auditor's responsibility for fraud lecture under block 1 playlist. Otherwise, this will create expectation gap. Expectation gap means sometimes the stakeholders, the shareholders assume that audit or auditors are responsible to prevent and detect all the misstatements and they are responsible to identify any potential ethical threats and frauds. No, this is wrong. We perform audit on reasonable assurance to provide that financial statements are free from material misstatement, not all misstatement. Specific terms of the engagement, scope of engagement. This is a root learned concept. If you can get the idea from this answer, then it's good to go. Otherwise, just try to learn this thing. Scope of engagement. Esther and company should set the scope of the engagement regarding the procedures to be performed, whether retrospectively or prospectively, means from the prior changes or the future changes. Also, it should be made clear that whether the current management information system should be evaluated or the existing one too. Purpose of the engagement. Esther and company should make clear to the Baker company should make clear to the backer company and insurer that the engagement is solely for the payroll fraud, not for other frauds which not covered in the scope because scope is the everything. Also, it should make clear that the engagement is only for the limited users, not for the public sector, as Esther and Company restricts its liability for any wrongdoing, while investigation by the crime department. Esther and Company should obtain written agreement from the Baker Company that all the relevant information and confirmations from third parties should be provided accurately without any interruption of the management. We all know third party source of evidence are more reliable than the internal evidence as audit depends on sufficiency and appropriateness of the audit evidence. So if audit evidence are sufficient and appropriate, it means audit opinion should be correct and the quality of the audit is not compromised. If the audit evidence are not sufficient and appropriate, it will affect the audit quality as well as the professional liability of an auditor. Nature of engagement. This is not an assurance engagement as it is an agreed upon procedures determined between Esther and company. How you identify that this is not an assurance engagement because it's mentioned that you are not an audit or Baker and Company is not an audit client of your firm. So of course it's not an assurance engagement. Determined between Esther and Company and Baker Company to ensure that they are appropriate for the purpose of the engagement. Esther and Company will not express an opinion or give any reasonable conclusion. Other aspects. Nature, timing, and extent of procedures should be well defined so that the management can easily understand them. Addressee of the report should be clear to confirm whether the report is issued to the Baker company. and to the insurer. Addressee means to whom the report is for. If you watched the last lecture of Block 3, in which I have discussed the complete format of the report. Also, format of report should be agreed so that the report should be made according to the specific format, including any information from the insurance company. What I gonna do once I upload this video, I try to attach the links of the topics which are connected with this lecture. The playlist of the previous past paper lectures link will be available here, and the audit format lecture video will be uploaded here. Okay, this is for your better understanding. Now, audit procedures. I told so many times when the examiner asks you to write audit procedure, just use this approach. CASP. C means case specific, A means action, S means source, P means purpose. These four components should be mentioned in your procedures. Let's cover these four components in this answer. Inspect, the insurance agreement. Inspect is the action. The insurance agreement is the source. You are performing an action and the action is inspect. For what? What is the source? Insurance agreement is the source and the purpose is to confirm the amount of loss covered by the insurance policy. If you go to the exhibit 1, which is mentioned in the question number 2, you will get that there is information about the insurance agreement, amount of loss, insurance policy. So these all the linkings are come under the case specific. So case specific is done, inspection is action, insurance agreement is the source, to confirm the amount of loss is the purpose. All four components are mentioned. Obtain payroll. Obtain is an action. Payroll records is a source. To whom? From the HR department. Why? To confirm. This is purpose. To confirm whether the existing two employees are still in payroll record. This line is mentioned in the question. So it's a case specific. Obtain an understanding of the controls established by the management on payroll to ensure its transparency. Directly communicate with the bank to confirm whether the amount being paid to two leavers. Obtain details of the bank to whom the payment has been made to confirm the beneficiary details. Review correspondence with the previous employees to confirm whether they have received any money since they have left the Baker company. Recalculate the monthly payroll calculated by the HR department to confirm whether the same amount $30,000 has been paid in an unidentified account. So that's it for question number 2. If any of the student is taking these things lightly, trust me, you are just left with 1 month. After 1 month, you will just left for the December attempt. And if you will waste your time like this, then you will move forward to the March. After March, there is a June. After June, there is a September, December, then 2027. So make sure, buckle up and try to complete your lectures. Still, you have time. Trust me, still, you guys have time. This exam is not that much difficult. It's just a myth that AAA is the most difficult exam after the APM or after this exam. No, this is not correct. This is just a myth. Many students failed in this exam because they have not prepared well. Their drafting techniques are not well. They have not solved the past paper questions. They have not covered the lectures. What they did, they just talked with few other students. I don't say, and I'm not denying the fact that there are few students who passed this exam by doing the self-study. But we all know that not all the humans are same. There are differences in everyone. Even I am different from others and others are different from me. So we have to accept this fact that we all are different. And mostly students just post their under any FP or any other group, they ask whether we should go for this exam. Can I complete this exam in 1 month time, in 1.5 month time? How can other judge you? Even if you are not going to take a decision for yourself, how others can guide you? Of course, they will just say in a courtesy, yeah, you can do it, you have time, but trust me, trust me, trust me. You guys can complete this exam or you guys can pass this exam. Still, you have time. If you are just left with 25 days, 20 days, still, I am saying you guys have time to pass this paper in the first attempt. Even my lectures are very upgraded lectures. I would not say that these are the top notch lectures, but trust me, I try to cover everything, every important concept, every important things which have been discussed or which I think will discuss in your exam in the future. Please try to watch all the lectures and in the past paper questions. But this thing I can surely say that there is no other tutor who is going to solve all the past paper questions for you. Trust me, guys, trust me. I try my best to upload all the past paper questions for you. Previously, I have solved the topic wise questions. Once I done with the topic wise questions, I move to the CBE complete past paper questions, so that if any student still have any issues on CBE questions, so I can try my best to resolve their queries. This is for you. I have done my ACCA. Now I am just almost nearing to accomplish my another qualification, which is ACA. So after that, I will also get this one qualification as well. And in the future, if I have a time and if I can think that I should do for the more professional qualification, then of course I will do. But this is your time. Please make sure you guys are using it effectively. Otherwise, it's just your loss. So take care and goodbye.